Hi there. On weekends, we do reruns so that yours truly can take a couple days off. Look for a fresh new episode on Monday. Meanwhile, please enjoy this episode for this day from a previous year. I thank you so much for your indulgence and loyalty, and have a great weekend. Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for January 28th. January 28th is the 28th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 337 days remaining until the end of the year, except for leap years, as 2020 is, when there are 338 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is brevity. Brevity is a noun that means shortness or conciseness, the attribute of being short or fleeting. For example, if you give a report on agriculture in the Northern Hemisphere in 3 minutes, you have done it with incredible brevity. Brevity comes to us from the late 15th century, from Old French brevet, from Latin brevitas, from brevis, brief. You can use brevity for things that are literally short, like the brevity of an elevator meeting, or the quality of fleetingness, like the brevity of youth, which doesn't seem that brief when you're in the midst of it, but there you go. Brevity is also a style of speaking or writing with economy. Brevity is the soul of wit, said Polonius in Shakespeare's Hamlet, suggesting that witty people know how to make a point without unnecessary words. Alrighty then, now we're going to go back to the year 1777, when British General John Burgoyne submitted a plan on January 28th to the British government to isolate New England from the rest of the colonies. At first this plan seemed to work, but then it went south on him, and he ended up retreating and surrendering 6,000 men. This was actually a pivotal point for the success of the Patriots, because when the French heard about it, they said, "Oh yeah, we can get behind that," and agreed to recognize the independence of the United States. France's eventual support had a lot to do with the ultimate victory of the Patriots in forming the United States. Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice was first published in the United Kingdom on January 28, 1813. On January 28, 1902, the Carnegie Institution of Washington was founded in Washington, D.C. with a $10 million gift from Andrew Carnegie. On January 28, 1915, during World War I, Germans sunk an American merchant ship. They acknowledged this and apologized, but the damage was done. On January 28, 1917, American forces were recalled from Mexico after over 10 months of fruitless searching for the Mexican revolutionary Pancho Villa, who was accused of leading a bloody raid against Columbus, New Mexico. This is the birthday of Alan Alda, best known for his portrayal of Hawkeye Pierce on the popular TV show MASH. He was born January 28, 1936, and turns 84 as I read this in 2020. Elvis Presley made his first national television appearance on CBS's Stage Show on January 28, 1956. On January 28, 1958, 19-year-old Charlie Starkweather and 14-year-old Carol Ann Fugate, a couple of teenagers turned serial killers on a crime spree, killed another family. Altogether, their murderous spree left 10 people dead in the span of about a week's time. Fortunately, they were captured the following day. Books, movies, and music have been written about them. Starkweather faced the death penalty and was executed in 1959. Fugate, who turned out to be a model prisoner, was released in 1976 at the age of 33. As far as I could find, she is still alive and 76 years old. And now for some happier news. On January 28, 1958, the Lego company patented the design of its Lego bricks, still compatible with bricks produced today. Whoops, on January 28, 1964, Soviets shot down a U.S. jet that had strayed into East German airspace. This is the birthday of actor Elijah Wood, best known for his portrayal of Frodo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He was born on January 28, 1981, and turns 39 as I read this in 2020. Following the American Music Awards ceremony on January 28, 1985, 45 music stars met up for a marathon recording session to sing a song called We Are the World. It's a phenomenal work, still gives me goosebumps. And yes, I placed a link in the show notes. Amazing rich voices. As I said, I've placed a link in the show notes, so take a look and see how many of the artists you can name. I recognized most of them back then, and again now. They raised more than $60 million for African famine relief. On January 28, 1986, the Space Shuttle Challenger took off from Cape Canaveral, Florida, carrying 5 NASA astronauts, 1 payload specialist, and 1 civilian school teacher. It was to be a historic flight, and in fact it was, but not in the way anyone had planned. A little over a minute, about 73 seconds after the liftoff, the spacecraft essentially disintegrated in an explosion, in the first major shuttle accident in which there were no survivors. And I think that's enough for today. As always, links to my research are included in the show notes. Thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section and share this with others. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Test, 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 test. An account of so many mistakes. Girl, you don't need to bark at every dog that goes down the street, okay? There's just no need for it. Do you like it when dogs bark at you? I don't either. So, you don't need to behave that way. Where were we? Let's try something different here. All right, do that again. There's a good girl. Good girl. Come on now. I don't know how all that's going to go together, or if it's even going to make it to the video. We'll just see. Probably cut all that out. That'll all be laying on the cutting room floor. So I'll just do that whole thing over. That might not make it into the video. We'll see. Oh, that little birdie. I think I have birdies nesting in my shrubs out front. Changing it up.